Greetings, gamers. Welcome to another episode of Red Steel Gaming Presents. Today, we are presenting Twin Suns, the multiplayer format for Star Wars Unlimited, where the four of us here, myself, my buddy FaZe, my buddy Sal, and my buddy Chris, will be playing a 4-player game of Twin Suns, where we'll be pitting our heroes against each other. My deck is going to be led by Anakin and Yoda. FaZe, what do you bring today?
I'm going to bring General Grievous and Nute Gunray.
Big Sal, what do you got?
We have Piet and we have Thrawn, and new Thrawn.
And the other side of the Empire is going to be the new Thrawn with the Emperor.
So we'll be battling this out. We'll play the game, and then you'll see some commentary afterwards. And after I kick some butt this game,
Is the only heroic player? I doubt that's going to happen. But okay,
totally-
stay tuned.
Fun.
it's going to happen. I promise you. All right, gentlemen. Before I kick your proverbial butts in our Twin Suns game, let's discuss Twin Suns in general. Maybe how it's played, how it's won, and why Premier players should be trying it,
And why we like it.
and why we like it, and why even Commander players should give it a shot, because it is a multiplayer format, which is up to 4 players. And like most multiplayer formats, it's probably best at 4 players, but you technically can play with 2 players if you want, but it is better when
You can
there's
do
more
3.
players. You can do 3
Or 4.
but
Or
it's,
4.
again, just like Commander, it is best with 4 players.
100%.
So just a quick jaunt into how it is played and how the decks differ. So in Twin Suns, you have 2 leaders, as you can see here. In this particular deck, I have Anakin and Yoda.
The 2 losers.
Technically, yes. In the end, they both wind up being losers. But you pick 2. The deck size is now up to 80.
80 cards.
with the new
Yeah,
set
the
release.
minimum.
Singleton.
It's gone up, and it's singleton format, which in my eyes makes it much more affordable.
100%.
Star Wars already is being a newer game. I mean, the more pricier cards obviously are the showcase chases, but those are just eye candy. The leaders are readily available. You can get them all for pennies. if
One
not
in
for
every pack.
free.
One in every pack, you know.
So that's not a problem. The legendary chases, the good ones are around $20.
And that the really good ones are $20 because it was in the first set, which is still a little underprinted.
So
But otherwise, like the legendaries from the newer sets, they're all readily available.
yeah.
Like
and being a
$3-5.
You only need one,
And
so-
you only need
it's a
one.
singleton format, so it's easy to get the one.
And I mean, FaZe brought this up off camera. Like it's an 80 card deck. You might not even see it, and it's not so
Yeah.
game breaking that it's going to win you the game if you don't have that $20 Devastator. If I have the $3 Executor, like I'm going to do just as well.
The game could end at like 6 resources.
Yeah.
And especially with the way Star Wars Unlimited plays, where you have to do the discard for resource at the beginning.
Yeah.
You're going to put away cards that, unless you're smuggling,
Yep.
you're not going to see them anyway. So,
Sometimes the Devastator is the resource.
yeah, it can happen.
An early game, it should be. I mean, that's
Probably is going to be, unless you're really that, unless you will be
Unless
that.
you're Piet.
or you will be that devastated for not playing.
But in Twin Suns, in case you don't know, it's also, you got your color identity, right? So it's the color of your leaders and your base. So a lot of times you can do 2, usually 3 colors is your
You can
identity.
bring that
you
extra
do
color.
2. You can do 2 same in a different color. So it
So
definitely.
again, another way to play it. It's a little more broader of a card base.
Yes.
And there are cards that seem to be specifically for it.
Yep.
Like there are definitely cards that are underpowered in Premiere that see play here because they're affect all enemies.
There's cards you will never play in Constructed,
Yeah.
and they
That are
will
in
find
this
a home in
Not
Twin
just a
Suns.
home, but like oh my gosh, this card is awesome.
Yeah.
in Twin Suns.
Yeah. Also, you can
especially
have
the
your
cards
pet
like that are
cards.
all players.
Yeah, like it says,
You know,
all players,
ships.
every player gets.
All
Like,
ships.
They're obviously
Yeah,
made
yeah.
for this format. So.
and 80 cards, there's not that many cards in the game in those colors. So like there are just some cards that are really underpowered in Premiere that are perfectly fine in this because I need that ship. I need a ship. Any ship will do. I need a ship in yellow, and here it is. Now I'm going to play a card that I would never touch in Premiere. Now it's actually got a viable spot in my Twin Suns deck.
If you're a theme builder, if you're one of those like me, you pick a theme or whatever. The beautiful playground.
Yep.
Because of the,
more
extra
so
color
than
cards.
in most other games.
Because of the extra color and because of it's the format is different, and those cards tend to be a little less meta when it comes to building a Premier deck. So again, because it's not Premier, just another way to play the game and more variance.
Yes. So for instance, my combination is the new Thrawn with the Emperor. Thrawn his characters, when they die, if they have a when defeated ability, they get to do it twice instead of once. And it just so happens that the Emperor likes to kill characters. So I found that combination, and then I found, okay, give me every villain card that has a when defeated, and I'm going to put all of them in my deck. By the time I got there, I was 20 cards away from being done.
Yeah.
And then it became super easy to build. Like, I like these two characters. I thought it was a good idea. Let's see how it plays.
Yeah. And because it's a multiplayer format, you don't have to worry about matchups so much.
Yep.
Like when you're playing Premier, it's like, oh, we're going to run into Sabine again, or oh, we're going to run into Boba again.
Well, the meta's formed, so you kind of know what's coming.
Yeah, if you're playing competitive with this, it's like you don't know what they're bringing. And you could just have fun with it.
And they're really no competitive. It really is 100% casual.
No ban list, right?
Nope,
no ban list.
No ban list.
No ban list.
Yeah, so you could play the
Bobas
Fett,
and the Django's of the world can be played in this.
They're in here.
So
I think the one thing we're forgetting about is the win condition.
Yeah, I was going to bring that
that's
up.
what I was going to
Win
touch too.
condition's
Which is much different than Commander you play all the way until the last man standing kind of thing. This the rules as written, which I think all of us at the table agree is probably the best way that we like to play.
The only way
is you play until the first person dies, and then as soon as that first person's off the table, whoever has the most or the least amount of damage on them at that time is the overall winner.
And then the person who takes out that person, the first person who does that, they heal 5 to their base, which is huge.
becomes the bet, which
is
the
a
reward.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, and theoretically, you could kill 2 people
And heal 10.
and then heal 10.
Yeah.
Depending on your turn.
There's definitely
and then the game doesn't immediately end when someone dies. You have to finish that round.
But FaZe, you were talking a few minutes ago, like that's one of the things you like about it, right?
Yeah, like one thing with Commanders is sometimes if you die too early, you're waiting around. Most like multiplayer games where there's a defeated character, like then you either walk into another game or you wait till all your friends are done. At least with this, once someone dies, everyone's pretty much wrapping up the game.
it's ending.
In the next 10 minutes, it's over, and you can start again.
And then you can start again, and then maybe try not to die.
Yeah.
Maybe try not to be the target.
Wait. You will try.
And there also is not that onus in Twin Suns to like, hey, I'm just going to focus on FaZe, and I'm going to just attack him, blow him up, take him out. You really can't just ramp someone out of the game because you really have to. Everybody's got to kind of come down at the same time. And then the end game is really the hard brain burn for me anyway. Like to know striking someone, am I going to still have the resources to be able to deal with everyone else alive in the round? It's tough at the end, and I think that's what's more exciting about it.
Like I can definitely kill somebody at the table quick.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
But so easy.
I'm not going to
You're not winning. There's no if you do that.
Because I'm so focused on that person that I'm not paying attention to my board state or that the fact that they haven't taken any damage from anybody.
You might have tapped out everything to take that person out, but now you're wide open to everybody else's untapped.
I've seen it time and time again. The vendetta breaks out. You get pissed because somebody removes something. Those 2 guys are not winning.
Yeah, the best part about this game is when you see the vendetta happen, you're like, I got a chance.
You got a chance. Yeah, and then the other 2 will usually sit back, be a little more defensive, maybe just throw like a little casual damage somewhere. Then those 2 guys are dead, and then it's like, all right, we probably
then
won.
It's game on between those 2 people.
Yeah, and then we have probably the most health, and then you start when the game, as Sal was saying, like when that last couple of rounds, what invariably happens when everybody knows what's going on, that's played the game long enough, everybody's health is usually sitting around 8 to 10, and that's when
the pounce zone.
And
I call that the pounce.
Because now it's like
waiting.
It's one or now I can 1 or 2 shot somebody, or I can hit him and somebody can finish, and then I get. What happens is like if he's at 10 and you can hit him for 5, you don't want to, because if you hit him for 5, you finish him off,
and I get the
you
bump
get
and
the
health.
heal, and then maybe I used all my resources. I can't hit him, and he's sitting at 12. And then this whole
it gets really
chain
good
of events happens
because of the way they've made the rules. It gets very good at that point.
And then also, let's not forget to mention the tokens. So you have your initiative token, which is your standard token.
Go first next
you go
round.
First token. You have a blast token, which will do damage to all your opponent's bases.
1 point. Yeah.
1 point of damage when you claim it. And then there's the plan token, which allows you some
card filtering.
Filtering. Let you look at the top card, and then you have to take something and put it on the bottom.
Put it back into the bottom.
It's not always optimal, but it can help.
It's a little filtering. If you got that Devastator early and you don't want to just discard it or resource it, you can filter it and get something else instead.
Yeah.
With more cards now, cycling through is not necessarily the bad thing. So
yeah, and more like any other game especially with a large deck, the more you can get to the card that you really need for that situation, the better. So it does have its use. It's probably the least used of the tokens. If in my experience playing
the plan.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it feels like the third best option.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when we played when we only played with people in the game, you always wound up with a token,
With a
right?
token,
So
yeah.
plan was actually the worst thing to get at the end because sometimes, like, if I have one card in my hand, I'm really holding on to it. I would have to.
Yeah, and maybe you don't want to filter.
That's what I mean. So
Or
it was.
you have no cards in hand, and you have to peek that card that was on the top. It's like,
And
this
just
could
put
have won
it-
me the game, and now it's got to
And
go on the
put it-
bottom of my
yeah,
deck.
so it's like almost like a discard mechanic at that point
Yeah.
for somebody.
So, but with 4 people, someone's not getting anything at the very end. But just the
Sometimes
nature
it's
of the game.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's situational.
As
for
many
sure.
times as I've seen, like people try to plan around it.
But we've talked about this before. I think it's a very viable format. I think with Jump to Lightspeed, it's definitely gotten enough cards in the card pool that it's a lot of fun.
Enough for them to say we're going to
New
80
mechanics,
too, so.
new mechanics too with the whole jump to lightspeed added a whole nother element to
Yep.
the game. So
So I mean, it's worth giving a try. If you play Premiere already or you're into SWU, it's definitely worth giving a try. And we have a couple guys that come in on Wednesday that play Twin Suns almost every week now. So shout out to those guys. But it's definitely worth kind of dipping your toes into. If you own SWU cards, there's no reason not to try a different
If you've bought
format.
into the Star Wars Unlimited mechanic, because I know, like, I use my son an example. Like, he just doesn't. Him as a commander player, he does not like the action of you go and do one thing, and then the other person has a chance to respond. That's not his thing. He wants his mana. He wants to
go- he wants to
unabatedly
go off.
He wants to
Yeah.
do his whole repertoire, and like he does. Like, all right, I here's the Devastator. Now I'm going to attack in, and I'm like, no, you got to wait till next round. There's a response, and like so. But if you're already invested in SWU and you love the mechanic and you love the back and forth, it just gets crazy. Like there's just some cards in here that you're like, oh my god! Like the card coming out is the board state sometimes. Like that's got to go,
and now he becomes a target for 3 other people to get a chance to maybe do something.
Yes.
Like that.
And
Like
all I
it's-
can say is when the Crate Dragon comes out,
Yeah, it's
in
a
the
problem.
multiplayer format, it's
Oh,
like,
it's
oh
horrible.
my goodness.
But then you know what? It's also a resource sap because someone who's got the card defeat of any unit, like he wastes it before I wasted mine. I'm like, oh my god, I still got mine in my hand. So
Yeah,
like, there's a that it's just it's the best multiplayer format. Obviously, it's the only multiplayer format, but it is it's super fun.
And for those commander players, like if you're interested in just trying a new game, it's not that expensive,
No.
honestly, to get to put a deck together. Like,
$30.
yeah,
Yeah, it's super
if
cheap.
$30.
and there's a lot of players that sort of have a lot of bulk that are willing
Yeah,
to give it
and-
away.
and
So,
they
I mean,
want-
I mean, a
They-
deck
it-
full of commons is probably like 10 cents each card.
Yeah.
Like $8.
Yeah, I mean,
$10 can get you a whole
How
deck.
many commons, uncommons I have out of 80? It's like
Yeah,
a ton
even
of-
My deck's
even
probably
in a
90%
tuned deck, I
commons.
want to say it's probably 90% commons and
Yeah.
uncommons.
Yeah.
Especially since you got to try to get to that 80 because the card pool's a little small right now. Maybe in a couple of years.
But you know
maybe
what?
like
Those
having
20 cards you
MND.
don't want, if you get them early, they're resources.
They're resources,
Like you
yeah.
don't really care. There are cards
Yep.
in here that I'm hoping I get as
And
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
the
because it's
resource.
like,
the counterpoint to Lucas, like he doesn't like the idea of going back and forth. Maybe it's something new. Like if I played Commander and I saw, it's 4 people sitting around a table and they play to the death. Like, okay, it's the same game. I don't have to get involved. It is different. So like if you like Magic, maybe you will like the difference. Not to say that you're going to replace Magic, obviously, but you might find that I kind of like the back and forth. It's different enough that it's not just another singleton 4-player
I
format.
like being able to respond. Like
Yeah.
I like the idea of like, there's a response timing. And just,
Also, it solves that like kind of going on the phone commander games where like,
Oh,
it's Chris's
yeah.
turn. Let me just like not care what's going on.
Have you ever played with Biagio?
but that happens. There
I've
are
been waiting how
decks-
many episodes to say his name, and I have a reason to say his
have
name
you ever
right
played
now.
with Eric?
Have you ever played with my
Another
nephew
one.
Eric? Right?
Like those turns
Well,
can
order-
take a half an hour.
Order your food and wait for it to come and eat it, and you're still waiting for him to finish.
We've played Sue
then
with
you
Eric,
need
so
to
we
play
know.
this, okay? Because this will give you a break from
You're
that.
constantly engaged.
Yeah, it
Always
forces
engaged, 'cause
everyone to
every-
keep playing
because your
their
turn-
turn's coming up.
Your turn goes so fast that it's like you want to see what he's doing, and and it's not a hard decision. 9 times out of 10. Don't get me wrong. Every game you got to make a decision. I get it, but the decision making time is a lot smaller.
Yeah.
and it's usually board state based. So you really have to make it. It happens, and you want to see it happen. And you're not on the phone.
Yep.
you're playing, and next thing you know, I could play 3 games of this before the average game of Commander ends.
Mhm.
Right, so
Yep.
that's great. If you want to play Boba Fett and you're a Premier player, guess what?
Play
You can still
Boba
play
Fett.
him here.
Yeah, that's true. you like Django Fett?
You like Django
still
Fett?
play-
You
You
can
can
still
play
play him,
Boba Django
Yeah.
in the same
In the
deck,
same deck.
with your triple dark raid,
it's
and you
double
can
yellow.
all love time.
All the fun you want.
All
I
the
mean,
broken.
You're gonna
double
get
yellow.
attacked relentlessly,
Yeah, it's
but
double yellow,
you
for
can
sure.
Yeah.
you can play it. You know,
It works.
and that's exactly why so many games do these kinds of formats, right? Because you still have value to your collection.
Yep.
And Boba's not banned; he's suspended, so things might change. So, but the point is, you could still use all the cards you own in this format, and which is, I mean, it makes sense to copy what Commander does. Why? It's probably the most popular format of multiplayer card game on the planet currently. So why not copy what works? And this is Star Wars.
Put your little flair on it.
And it was designed at creation before the game. You know, it wasn't something that was added on, stapled in the back end. This was created with the game based on constructed format, and then also with Twin Suns. So like it's a well thought out.
It was a forethought. Like, we're making this game with the intent of making cards to have a multiplayer format.
FFG copied all the best parts of other games, knowing that like we're not recreating the wheel here. We're going to just make something that works for us, and it works.
Yeah, and it's a theme. I mean, it's
And it's Star Wars.
It's Star Wars.
Yeah.
I mean, that just makes it easier.
And
Yeah, I mean, this deck, I mean, my ground forces, and obviously, if you don't know, it's ground forces and space forces in two different arenas.
Yep.
This deck with Piet, I mean,
It's all space.
I went through every capital ship. I was like, I might even I don't have a yellow base. I might throw a yellow capital ship because he's going to make it too cheaper, and that's the cost for
penalty.
you
The penalty's gone.
So it was definitely I went through a whole slew of new cards that I haven't even looked at. So that's super fun.
The build fun is immense.
Yeah.
You know,
And you could do suboptimal and it still works.
It still
You know,
works.
you could
It's
be like,
fun.
I want to slap this guy with this guy. You know what? If it
It'll-
still works.
you could do it.
Yeah.
You know, creativity's abound. It's just a big playground. You're gonna have fun. So
And if Premiere didn't hook your teeth in, like for me, not a huge fan of the way Premiere plays in this game, but Twin Suns is really enjoyable, and it's a great alternative if you didn't really like Premiere.
and a cheap alternative.
Yeah,
to boot.
100%.
So
All
anything
right,
else you want to
let's-
add before
I think it's just time to get to the table and
Get to the table.
make sure that Anakin and Yoda don't win.
see what happens here?
Long live the Empire.
I have listen.
Long
it is-
live the Empire.
Wait, it is a Star Wars game, so I'll just leave it with this. I got a bad feeling. Welcome back, Star Wars Unlimited players.
What a game.
What a game. Sadly,
You sound sad.
the reason I'm sad is because we had to kill somebody. And as much as I like FaZe, since he beat us in this Star Wars Unlimited game of Twin Suns, that we decided to kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Grievous and Newt Gunray.
Literally kill him.
Grievous and Newt Gunray took down the day.
Yeah,
Yes.
we ice beat him.
But I'm also going to say that he didn't win that game. I'm going to say that we lost that game.
I will definitely throw that in.
More or less.
And because unfortunately I did foretell the future, I did mention in the intro that sometimes what happens in a Twin Suns game is that the old hatreds come out and the word vendetta gets thrown around, and then two guys who have clashed before tend to remember the game from 6 months ago and certain board states.
Yeah. And certain characters hit the field that like, whoa, he's got to
Well,
go.
he's gotta
There's no
go.
reason for him to go.
Yeah,
We're like,
so-
Yoda's got to go.
So
Die.
as that was progressing between Chris and
I saw Anakin across the way, and the
that's-
Emperor needed to try to turn him. So
Yes.
I was attacking. I had to
Yeah.
go after Anakin. I couldn't help myself.
Bottom line is, Chris and I got into this little heated discussion on the table, and we're just starting to go at it.
It was aggressive negotiations.
Yeah, way.
FaZe was there. Sal happened to just get like a little
I
way
did,
late
he needed
early,
a board wipe.
Yeah.
It all started with the board wipe.
Yes.
They did the turbo
which he
turbo
says
laser salvo.
which he asked for. I know he asked
yeah,
for.
and
then
he
when
had
it
all
came,
the
he got
1-1s
mad.
out, and I'm like, those are gonna go. Those droids are gone.
And the board light comes, and he gets mad. I mean, he's like, "No, I didn't want a board wipe." I'm like, "I don't know what."
But I think in the end, it was.
I
Like,
don't think he knew what the hell he was.
he
doing.
didn't have
didn't know what he
he
wanted.
didn't have a 30 health base, so there was that idea of like, oh, but he still had the most health left on his base.
Yeah, so I think he was playing the droid manufactorum, right? So
25, right?
He got 25, and he got droids came out. 2 droids per leader came out when he flipped his leaders.
Yeah, and there was that end. Who brought the end game on?
I think Dan.
I finished.
Dan killed you, right?
Yes.
He played the blast token, put you down to 2.
And
I had an incident.
You had a red instant that did 2 damage to a base.
A base or unit. So that triggered the end game because that kills Sal. And then just to rehash how the end game gets triggered, once someone dies, we finish that turn.
Yep.
They heal 5.
heal
the
5.
person who does it heals 5.
So
and the heal 5 is big because that put a target on his back.
Yeah.
So now I'm in last place. He's now leading because he's got the heal 5, and FaZe is over there kind of counting butterflies floating around in the air.
Yeah, because he's out. He took the blast token, so
He's
round.
already out. He's out of the round. He
he's-
can't do anything else.
I'm going to just I'm going to tell the future again. All right. I envision a very heated and loud comment from FaZe on this video. Says he's not here to defend himself. There's going to be this very long comment about I was
why he's
looking at
not here.
butterflies. I didn't want the board wipe. You guys, it's going to be bad. But this is what happens when you can't come. So
It was fun. It was.
But yeah, so the Dan's on the lead, so I have to make a choice. I have to go after Dan. I was looking to beat Dan, and honestly, because FaZe is over there counting stars and looking at the ether.
his board got so devastated by that wipe because there was a bunch of low end stuff, and I had Anakin on the board, and late game Anakin.
He had to go
with all
He
that
had to go.
damage. He was like, I think it was 11 or 12.
He had
damage.
he had a lightsaber on him, and he had
taking
had
damage.
15-ish damage on the base, so
Which
he was
makes him-
way juicy.
It makes him angrier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was tough. He had to go, and then that just triggered up.
Well, it triggered. You know what it triggered? It triggered. You will try.
Yeah,
we both tried, and FaZe still beat
and
us.
FaZe still beat us.
Yeah.
So you wind up killing me, healing the 5.
But
And-
I was one
one
short
short.
of beating FaZe. FaZe and his 25 point base
base,
still
which,
was
which
able to.
I don't even think he popped and used the 2 droids from. I don't remember him doing.
He was anytime he flipped. So he did get his droids when he flipped
That's
Grievous and Newt Gunray.
But it's once.
It's
'Cause they
only
come out
once, yeah. So you're getting 4 points worth of value for a 5-point health decrease.
I'm just pissed that the Fab guy beat the Star Wars guys. That's all. In the end, that's what I'm pissed about. All right, we all have our little niches, and we know Fab is he's the Fab lead, and we're the Star Wars guys. He don't know shit about Star Wars.
We need him to come back. We
Talk
need-
about
we're just
Vendetta.
trying to-
don't know nothing about Star Wars.
But Vendetta, who dies first next? I mean,
Yeah, FaZe definitely go.
Well, that's it. Now you're
FaZe gotta
toast,
go.
bro. Don't even think about playing Twin Sons with us because the 3 of us are just gonna kill you. Right, and not care who wins or loses.
fastest-
Yeah, then we'll get to the second game and we'll reset.
The fastest to kill phase wins.
Yes, we call that.
But it was fun.
Yeah.
It was super fun, and that's what Twin Sons is. It's like
And
you know,
we jest because FaZe is a good guy. He takes it with a grain of salt.
roll
he
the play.
could. I'm not gonna say what I'm gonna say. It might be a PC. But if you want to come to the store and find out what I was gonna say about FaZe, come on down. I'll let it fly at the store.
Oh my god!
Yeah, but he's a great egg. He's fun to play with, and we had a blast.
Yeah, and Twin Sons is always good. And when you play with the first player dies, it's over. The games go so much quicker. I think our game probably took 25, 30 minutes
Yeah, we could
to play in its entirety.
In the end, it always kind of averages that 6-7 resource. You know, maybe some people ramp up a little
Doesn't
bit.
really
I
go
was
beyond
fine.
that.
It's a 6-7 threshold. The few times we've gone past that,
even
has
if you get
been
to
nominally.
8, it's 8 is done.
Yeah, it's
Done
anomaly.
at 8.
So
I don't think we've ever done 9.
I think we got there.
We
once,
might have once,
but that was like
I mean,
a
we
few
put-
board wipes. Like there
Or
was
a
a
couple
lot
ramps,
more,
maybe too. Like some
a lot
ramps
more
got there.
focus on taking out the units than the base, and we went a little bit longer than probably.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're spending the resource to take the units out, and people stop doing
Yeah, I
damage
think
to the
sometimes
base.
we get a little caught up in the fun that's happening that we don't want it to end per se, and we kind of just
Sure.
getting everybody to
One more
2.
round.
Get everybody to 1, like
Yeah.
just to,
and you
see
get
how,
greedy. You're like, oh, I could take that guy out, and the next round I'll do this, and then it
You know
might
what
be
it is?
done
and
next
then
round.
it doesn't come around because there's so many actions on the board, and you're like, oh, that plan is out the window.
That's what I'm. I guess I'll reveal my evil plan. Right? There's always like those goals you want to do in a game. For me, for this game for Twin Sons, I want to kill all 3 of you
Oh, in one shot.
In one shot.
It's possible.
That's what I want. I
Yeah,
want to
I
be
mean-
able to in that turn before it ends. I want to be able to kill 3 players and heal the 15.
I actually achieved my goal in this last game we played. So I was playing Emperor Palpatine from set 1 and Thrawn from JTL from set 4. And Thrawn lets you do double when defeated triggers.
Triggers, yeah.
I wanted to play K2SO. I played K2SO out of Aspect.
That hurt, man. That hurt.
Because he does 3 points of damage to everybody at the table, and then Thrawn doubled it. So I did
Doubled.
18 points of damage to the table.
Yeah,
in
he
that
died
one
in the
turn.
turbo laser salvo, which was
So everybody's board got
board
wiped.
wiped.
And my board got wiped, but I did 18 points of damage to the board at the same time. So that really kind of leveled the playing field.
That's
And
devastating.
that also probably is the reason it ended that turn, was because that 6 put FaZe able to put him down to 2,
Too
and then
much
you
low,
were
yeah.
able to kill him with the open fire, whatever that card is. It's got a
An aggressive thing.
It's got
It's red.
Fennec Shand on
it's
the
red.
card. I don't
It's
know what it is.
angry.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, we'll bring FaZe back soon and kill him.
Will
it's
we?
kind of hard. It's kind of hard when he's buried in the backyard. Yeah. But as
the
a,
daisies.
thanks for joining us. Check out Star Wars Unlimited, and actually make sure you check out. The main reason we did this is because I know a lot of people aren't playing Twin Suns.
It's so much fun.
It is really just a nice casual way to enjoy the game with multiple people.
If you're the commander player, this is Star Wars.
Yeah,
Commander.
it has the
That's
same. It has the same thing. There's a little bit of the what's the word I'm looking for? Diplomacy.
Yeah, a little politics.
A
You
little
could play
politic
probably
going
3
on.
games of Twin Suns inside a
In
commander
the time
game.
of a commander game.
Unless
Exactly.
you're playing some CDH decks, absolutely.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can easily play 3 games compared to a standard power level.
Best of
commander
3,
game.
Twin Suns.
That's-
Let's go.
And despite what people say, I still think it's easier to build a Twin Suns deck than it is to build a Premier deck.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I find my brain is less stressed after
Yeah,
building.
you pick 2 characters you like the synergy, and you build around their strengths,
Yep.
and then you go from there.
I'm already building I got Vader Green, new pilot Vader, and Von Reg.
Von Reg.
Little swarm. They come out +1. Let's have fun.
Ties, yeah.
Bunch of ties.
I want to get a bunch of X-Wings out. That's coming next probably. So
Little Wedge Antilles.
little
action.
Wedge Antilles action. Yep. So
Pilot Luke.
Pilot Luke?
You know,
Luke.
Luke, I could do that too.
Oh my God.
He's got
Luke.
he's the other buffing on there.
Luke.
you see what happens?
But you'll never play Luke constructed. He's a horrible card, but in that
in
setting,
that setting,
you
he's
can
awesome.
really
And
do a lot. of fun.
that's what you're starting to see too. That's why I want people to play Twin Suns. You know, you can also continue to enjoy, as we said earlier in the opening, you can continue to enjoy your almost your full collection.
And you can play 2 really bad leaders and play them poorly and still win the game.
just like FaZe did. Oh, wow,
Well done,
that's-
FaZe.
Good job. You showed everybody how easy it is to play this game. FaZe. Good job.
I jest. Congratulations, FaZe. I'll
Yeah, they're
get you
not
next
that bad.
time.
Wait, they're not that bad leaders. That's
No.
what we're jesting on.
Yeah, exactly. FaZe is just that bad. No, he's
No, not at all.
I agree with Grievous is kind of bad.
well.
He's
that's
good when he's out. Him himself is great, but what he brings to the table.
But
Anyway.
anyway, we enjoyed the game. We enjoyed FaZe's company. And come check out Star Wars Unlimited and Twin Suns and Premiere at Red Seal Gaming. And as always, thanks for joining us and never stop gaming.
And long live the Empire.
Long live the Empire indeed.